What survivors need you to know and what survivors need. And it's not what you think, it's not what society has been giving us, okay? Welcome to Clara's Revival. I am Coach Latasha. On this channel, we focus on reviving the spirit post-abuse. We focus on breaking learned behavioral patterns, breaking the trauma cycle, learning to truly love ourselves, choose ourselves, and put ourselves first, learning how to break generational curses, learning how to build our relationship with the Most High. All things healing is what I'm about on this channel. If you are into that, please like, share, comment, subscribe. Today I have a short list, but very effective list of what survivors of abuse need you to know. Because a lot of the population is out here getting it wrong. And I can't speak for everyone. We all have our separate stories. We have our unique experiences. We grow up on different sides of the world. But there are certain things that are the same within a community. And there is a lot of stigma attached to the names of survivors. There is a lot of name calling and bashing and harsh judgments. And today, my purpose is to educate some of the people so that you know what it is that we need. If there's something as a survivor, as a thriver, as a warrior, if there's something that you would add to the list, please comment. I want to know. I want to know. So we're going to get into it. First, before I say anything, not only are we survivors, we are thrivers, we are champions, we are mentors, we are warriors. Survivors of abuse, especially for long periods of time, who break out of that mental cycles, grow on to become some of the most powerful, influential, and healing people in this world. And this is what I see. This is what I see with clients that I coach. This is what I see amongst volunteer circles. This is what I see with women in shelters who have goals but just can't see a way right now. This is what I see. I see people thriving after horrific stories. Years of prolonged child abuse. 30 plus years of marriage being in an abusive relationship. Being abused by a spiritual or religious figure. We are not victims. We are thrivers. We are warriors. Okay? Before I get that started, I just had to get that straight. Now, number one, this leads right into number one. We do not want your sympathy. A lot of times it's misunderstood when we share our stories that we want sympathy. It's not sympathy that we want. It's understanding that we want. It's venting, it's healing that we're after. It's warning people against the patterns that we have fallen for. It's not sympathy. We don't want your sympathy. We don't want you looking down upon us like poor them. That's not what we want. We want a chance to regather, reclaim our lives, and determine what, who, where we want to be. We don't need. Please believe me when I say that survivors, thrivers, warriors of such abuse do not want or need your sympathy. Number two, we are not weak or dumb. Let me say it again for the people in the back.
We are not weak or dumb.
Plenty of women fall victim to abuse, no matter what their education or socioeconomic status is. This can happen to anyone of any race, any gender, any class. A person who is in an abusive cycle is a person who has most likely seen trauma before, has most likely been in a situation, an upbringing during their developmental years in cycles of abuse and trauma where it is normalized. There are educated women who are victim of abuse. There are women with all types of degrees that fall victim to abuse, being conned, being hoodwinked out of their money. When it comes to the matter of the heart, okay, When it comes to your heart, when it comes to the vulnerabilities of who you are, the things that you're seeking, and someone presents themselves, puts on a mask and try to present themselves as that, it's easier for anyone to fall victim. So please have some grace. Have some grace and understanding. And know that survivors of abuse are not weak. We're not doormats to be walked all over and pushed all over, even though we may have codependent behaviors. Even though we may have instances of high anxiety. Although we may need validation, we can break out of those things. It does not mean that we are dumb. It does not mean we are incapable. It does not mean that we cannot comprehend the cycle that we have been stuck in. So if you are someone who is facing that harsh judgment of the stigma, I need you to know, feed yourself. It's a lot that you have to, as you're healing and thriving, there's a lot that you have to tune out, and you really have to get down to the matters of your heart. 3, we do not enjoy abuse. So some of the comments like, oh, she must like it, she keeps staying there, are really hurtful to someone who may need help, who maybe needs someone to listen or hasn't reached out because they feel that shame. And it's a comment like that that'll take someone right back into that shell and try to deal with it themselves when they really need some outside eyes. Someone on the outside who really cares about them, who can help them create a plan. We do not enjoy abuse. We are stuck in a toxic cycle. We are afraid for our lives. Some of us are financially dependent upon the abuser. Some of us have nowhere to go. Some of us endure the abuse because it's how we survive. Our survival depends on it. We do not enjoy being physically abused, crying, being depressed, dealing with autoimmune diseases and disorders, dealing with mental health issues. We don't enjoy abuse, okay? So the next time that you come out your mouth to say some disrespectful things about something, about a process that you don't understand if you've never been there yourself, ask yourself some questions instead of being so quick to judge. That's what this video is really about today, is about taking some of the stigma and judgment off of survivors, because what society believes about survivors is not true. First of all, no one wants to believe us. The law doesn't want to believe us. It seems like they're not on our side. They side with the narcissistic. They side with the narcissistic person who's trying to use the system to abuse us further. A lot of the society does not understand the complexities of abuse. Now, what we do need, we're going to talk about some things that we do need. If you are a person who knows someone who is in a abusive situation, you see the signs, you've been there yourself, and you want to reach out to someone, I'm going to give you some tools, some things that we actually do need from people who are capable of giving it to us. If you're not, shut up. What we do need is support. We need support. We need support through non-judgmental listening ears of people who want to help, of people who just don't want to give their advice on what you should do, what you would do. It's very important to give trauma informed, okay? You have to be informed on how to deal, how to communicate, how to talk with people who have been through trauma. You have to be able to give them that space to listen to them without judgment, to get the full story before you want to jump in. Even calling the abuser names can be harmful, especially if that person is in great dependency on them. They're still deeply in love with them. When it comes to dealing with helping someone who is in the midst of abuse, you have to realize it's one of those situations to where you're seeing someone make a mistake, but you have to be aware of that, allow them to make that mistake, and love them through it anyway. It's like if you have a child that's growing up and making wrong decisions. You see them growing the wrong way. You know what you've raised them to believe. You have to allow that child to make that mistake and believe that they will come home. That's the same with dealing with a survivor of abuse. So many times we get ahead of ourselves because we're so excited. We want to help. We want to rush in. We want to let them know that you don't have to take this. You need to leave him now, which all may be true. But there's order. You have to be patient. And you really have to know how to communicate with a survivor of abuse. Many of them are not going to be ready to leave. Even knowing full on that they need to leave. And it takes time. It takes time and it takes a good plan, because when you are leaving, that is the most dangerous time in which the abuser gets more violent. They up the games. They start the smear campaigns. They get the law involved. They try to do everything to make life difficult and hard for you. Stalking, following you, ruining your stuff, damaging your property, your car, all this type stuff. Up to losing your life. Going back to the point that survivors do not enjoy abuse. We need non-judgmental listening, trauma-informed support. Number 2, we need stricter laws and punishment. If you get a slap on the wrist and you get sent home, and then you're able to delete the victim another time because the court system has let you off so many times to where you have a stack of charges, a stack proving, many of them, that you are a menace to the community. Many having all types of crimes, for other violent crimes, from robbery to drug charges, to drug possession, selling drugs, on the child offenders list. Many of these abusers have done many other crimes, and they have a thick stack of crimes that they've been able to get away with. And when it comes to abusing a woman, it is something that is accepted and it's allowed. Because how dare, when it comes to abusing a woman, how dare we interrupt what goes on in between someone's household? They want to run everything else though, but when it comes to abusing a woman, they want to allow it. We need stricter laws. Perpetrators need to stop having so many chances to kill the victim. They should not have the chance to do so. We need stricter laws. We need to be making examples out of people who abuse women. How are you choking someone? How are you strangling someone and getting out the same night? And what I must say, some of these laws are being enforced. I am really proud of my state where I live, North Carolina. North Carolina is really doing some innovative things that I can't even speak on. There's some behind the scene things, some testing, some research being done behind techniques to slow down the rate of domestic violence, because here in the South, it's a problem. Here in the South, in the Bible Belt, where there's just this air of control. There's being constricted, not being able to express yourself as a woman, not being able to have sexual desires as a woman. It's just this really, I don't know how to describe it. It's this very sheltered type expected way for a woman to be in the South. And I think it's, worse than some of the other places that I lived in my life. Being that I am from the South, but being that I've lived in other places in my life, it's just something different about the South and about what is expected of a woman, how we are expected to serve, and especially as a Black woman. It's very important to notice those type of things during our healing process, our cultural experiences, what we grew up in, what we saw our mothers and our grandmothers and our aunties go through. We really have to consider that and think about the training that has happened to allow the certain predicaments that you see survivors in. Going to the third, this is understanding the structure of abuse and the cycle. understanding how victims are groomed, how victims are reeled in, how the perpetrators know what they're looking for, know the certain traits that they're looking for. Knowing the up and down emotions, knowing the memory loss and the uncertainty that happens during abuse. Knowing and being informed about what abuse looks like, how it happens, is very important to knowing how to last and not least. This is what we need. Give gentle and effective communication. Survivors, thrivers of abuse need gentle and or effective communication. Why? Because a lot of us tend to be very hypersensitive because of the walking on eggshells, because of the extra criticism about every little thing that we do, the way we look, the way we dress, the way we eat, the way we walk. Everything about us is ridiculed and judged. So when it comes to pointing out toxic behaviors, when it comes to talking to a survivor of abuse, you have to be gentle. I'm not telling you to spoon feed and sugarcoat, but you must be effective in a way to where you're thinking about what is the goal. What is it that you want to convey? What is the message that you want to convey? Is it comfort that you want to give them? Is it clear resources that you want to give them? Is it letting them know that you are just there for them to listen, there for them if they need a place to stay? What is your motive? Besides taking, you really have to be able to take yourself emotionally out of it and put yourself where they are. Gentle and effective communication. We compare ourselves a lot. We're ridiculed. Our feelings are, we're very sensitive. We're hypersensitive beings after going through abuse. Some of us develop a hardened shell. And in that way, with that type of person, you might just need to cut down to it. Just get down to the nitty gritty and tell them straight up. Tough love type energy. But just know the goal of the communication and know that you have to be effective with it when it comes to dealing with a survivor of abuse. So I really hope that that has helped someone out there. Please don't forget to check out my website, www.clarasrevival.com. 10% off all coaching packages. Book your free 45-minute clarity session today. I will talk to you later, fam. I love you. Please take care.